Hi there, this is Chris from MoneyHub, and this video looks at when to change or cancel a life insurance policy. So this is a question that many people ask us. Of course, we're not insurance advisors, we're not insurance brokers, but we do like to comprehensively list questions people should consider or facts to know before making any decisions. Now, what we've done here is we've published a guide, which I've linked down below, and this takes you through everything you need to know really about making like a choice around what you're going to do about canceling or changing a life insurance policy. And the first thing that I want to say up front is that this is really important stuff. Please, if you are looking to make a change or cancel altogether, be very, very considered in your approach. Don't rush this. Like, it's not our intention for you to pay insurance for things that you don't need or want, or at the same time be undercovered. If you've got a change, if you've got more children or something like that, and you want more sort of urgently, just make a very informed decision, and it may take some time. Keep paying the policies as you go along until you've reached that decision. Don't cancel, don't pause on them or anything like that. We just want people to be aware of everything that's important, and then they can make like an informed choice and be comfortable with that. So first up, I want to say our guide really covers a whole bunch of things here, but looking at the options available should you want to change or cancel. Why do people do it? We've just written a little summary here. Be that your family's grown up and that your spouse or partner won't need like any additional money. That's obviously for canceling. It could be that that you've done a review of your finances and that you're happy with the investments that you have, and you don't think that paying this annual or fortnightly fee for life insurance is worth it. You may be just finding that it's too expensive and you don't have the money to budget for it, and you just decide to self-insure or forgo it altogether. Saying that, there's many reasons why you'd want to extend your life insurance or, change the policy cover. That's if you have more children, things like that. And getting divorced as well is a big trigger because people then suddenly lose an income, as a household, and then they want to make sure their kids are often protected. So they increase their cover. This isn't, specific in every case. This is just things that we notice. And then we just wanted to say, as I've previously touched on, but I think I'll re-emphasize it because it's really important. Don't don't rush into this. Switching or canceling a life insurance policy can be irreversible, especially if you're no longer covered for, say, pre-existing conditions that were part of your original life insurance policy. And because lots of insurers can't advise independently. Actually, none of them can. Talking to a life insurance broker can really help you, or someone who sells life insurance for a range of for a range of insurers, and they'll look at your needs and make commentary around that, and really sort of getting an understanding of what you need and where your life is going and your family and everything around. You have to be completely honest with your circumstances and your situation that's driving any such change or cancellation. So talk to your insurer or talk to your broker like about this to get fully sort of make them fully aware of what's going on so that you get the best possible outcome. Don't sort of rush into this, as I say. It needs to be well considered. And basically, we believe life insurance should be part of your overall financial strategy. And for this reason, it has to be appropriate and it also has to be affordable. And any adjustments need to be carefully planned. So, changing your policy, why do people do it? Well, first is basically things change. So you'll want to either change who the beneficiary is or you want to change the cover level. In some cases, you may want to change both. So the beneficiary is the people or the person who the life insurance money gets paid to, and then the cover level is how much. So, for example, cover level could be $500,000, and then you want to have, say, an extra 250,000 because perhaps you have a couple of more children come or something like that, and then you'd make an application to change the cover level. Why do people do all this? Well, they just want to have more protection and make sure that things are adequately covered should they meet an unfortunate circumstance. I don't really want to talk about that, but that is a fact of life and why life insurance exists, of course. And it's common to change who the beneficiary is. So I just want to talk about this. So that is very, very simple. And you may want to change it because, say, for example, if you get divorced, then you wouldn't want your beneficiary to be your ex. Well, you may, but probably not. And so you'd want that to be your children, and that's a common change there. And then if you have a trust, then then the beneficiary can be changed to being the trust, where the beneficiaries of that trust will be rewarded or like receive the financial benefit of a life insurance payout. Now, changing a life insurance cover level, this is very common as well, as I previously kind of touched on. So marriage, you're going to get married and children and things like that. That's where people think, okay, they may own a house pre-marriage with their partner, with their fiance or whatever, and you don't even have to, need to be married, as I've touched on down below, because there is like the section buying a house. But getting married is usually a trigger here. People want to increase their cover, and so that's an application that people make. Divorce or separation, also, the reverse here, right? Well, we're getting divorced, so I'm going to change the cover and make sure that there's enough cover for my children should something unfortunate happen. And then having children, of course, trying to stay positive here and not talk about divorce or separation. This is a major, well, actually, probably the most significant reason people look to increase their life insurance. So when you have children, you obviously want to make sure that they are financed should something happen. There's enough money. And if you are young and healthy, then you can get the coverage without spending too much on an annual or fortnightly policy, etc. And if you don't have lots of disposable income in your life, but you still want to increase your coverage, then you can adjust that. And it really just comes down to stress testing, like what the benefit will be, i.e., the extra money that's covered, versus what comes down to make the most sense for you. So, obviously, if you're going to get an extra $100,000 coverage, and it's going to cost you, say, for example, an extra $50 per year, then that's probably okay. But if it's going to cost you, $1,000 a year, then that obviously comes expensive. And so you need to just play around and kind of stress test and see what you can afford versus what you're going to get as a benefit for the policy later on, or sorry, should it need to be paid out. And then lastly, buying a house, massive reason as well that people get life insurance, because if they're married or if they've got a partner who they bought the house with, if they're not around, then it's going to be really hard. I mean, it's hard enough anyway, like with two incomes often, without losing an income there and having the surviving person try and make the mortgage payments. So if any of these scenarios do apply to you, then it's clearly a situation where you want to explore increasing or changing the coverage on your existing policy. And that's just, if there's other, there's certainly other considerations as well. And but those are just four popular ones. Now, increasing your life insurance cover, you've got plenty of options. There's also costs that come with it. So option one is you just change your life cover amount. And this is where you ask for an increased premium and you get a quote for that. So that's going to just be a dollars based number. So I want to increase my policy, say for example, from $500,000 to $250,000. To 700 and to 750,000. Big numbers here. And basically what that means is you'll get a brand new quote, and it'll be higher, of course, than your $500,000 cover. But it will arguably be less than buying, in most cases, a $500,000 policy plus a $250,000 policy separately, because insurers want to, be efficient here and like give you something which is most effective. So that is your first option there. The second option is, should you not be able to, or should you be wanting to move insurers altogether, you can cancel, and you may find that you get much cheaper cover overall with another insurer. But you need to be very aware that this may not last, and the insurance premiums may go up. Second to that, you may find that you're not covered as well as you were with your existing policy. So please be very careful before doing any of that. We know people do rush in, to say, and find themselves not covered, and it's a problem. So just be very, very cautious with that approach, because people can offer cheap prices, and it may sound good, but if you're not covered as well as you were, and there is exclusions, especially for pre-existing conditions on your life insurance that are previously covered, then you're going to be worse off. And then the third option here, and I briefly alluded to this just before, is buying a second policy. So you can have as many insurance policies as you want. You can have 100, but you just have to be able to pay for them, when they're due. And that's an option here if you just think, okay, well, I'm happy with my insurer and I don't really want to go around this whole hassle of changing. I may get a whole bunch of questions and it may just affect my existing cover if I have to submit new documents and all of that. So I'll just stay with the existing insurance and then buy a second policy with another insurer. That's fully free to do that. It may cost, and it probably will cost more than, say, a standalone policy for the higher amount combined. So, for example, if you have a 500,000 and you're wanting 750, then buying two separate ones is likely to go up. But you just need to be aware that that's one of these things, and you just need to price and sort of budget accordingly. So, switching life insurance companies, there's going to be 4 must-know considerations here and sort of facts. If you do a cancel and you want to buy a new one, then you have to go through the medical underwriting process again. That can be quite involved. Second to that, as I previously said, if you're older and you have new health sort of issues or pre-existing, that's going to impact your premiums. You'll need to disclose those, and that's going to obviously drive the cost. And there's not many reasons why you would want to switch insurance companies for the same or similar kind of cover. It's a good approach to get a quote from a new insurance company, anyway, and then you can submit your documents and see what the new premium would be, and then decide to move or possibly talk to your existing insurers for example, try and sort of negotiate, but never. And I said it's not wise, it's wise not to cancel, but really don't do anything before you've made a big decision, like with all the factors in play. Because if you do that and you've got nothing to fall back on, then you may have no cover at all or less cover. So just make the inquiries, talk to a broker, talk to your insurer, talk to your family. Just keep it very, very open, all of this. Don't be quiet about it. And I know it's not so New Zealand to be talking about all these things so openly. Have the discussions. They're not great discussions. I'm going to be honest. They're talking about death with loved ones isn't exactly how you want to be spending a Tuesday night. But it is really important that you're as honest as possible and you just make the best possible moves forward for such a important decision. And finally, we've got some frequently asked questions. If you have any questions which we don't think that we've covered that we should, please let us know in the comments section. You can also write to us because we're very responsive here, and we definitely want to make this as comprehensive as we possibly can. So thank you very much for watching, and we wish you the best with any life insurance change or alteration or cancellation that you do. Just take it all very, very slowly. This is not financial advice or insurance advice, just sort of really common sense here. And we want you just to make the best possible decision and talk to the people that mean the most to you, and make sure that everyone's on the same page, because we don't want you to act alone. We want you to be, happy, and we want everyone around you to be happy about whatever you decide on. Thank you very much for watching, and best of luck.